Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Fun Stuff Friday and we have these wonderful set of 160 ArtTrack colored pencils. And as I told you yesterday, I got these off of Aliexpress and they were beautifully protected, and the packaging is so nice. It's nice and soft. It feels kind of like velvet. It's weird. And it absorbs oil off of your fingers, obviously. Uh, I have been petting it quite a bit. I just don't know why, but it's just the feeling of it is real. I'm a texture person. I really like textures. But it comes in this wonderful cardboard, heavy cardboard box that slides over top of the plastic holders that hold the pencils. So we'll take that off and we'll put it aside because otherwise I'll just sit here and pet it all day. And we'll slip the holders out. Now these are fairly normal plastic holders um, that hold the pencils. They're a little bit stiffer than most normal plastic holders, so you can actually lift up the whole thing. The one thing I really like about these plastic holders is you can lift up the whole thing, turn the pencils upside down, shake it around, and nothing falls out because they have clips at the top and at the center where the pencils go in that actually hold the pencils in. Awesome! So far, I'm absolutely in love with the packaging of this set of pencils. On the back of the lower part of the case, it has all of your swatch chart, and I will be going through and redoing my swatch chart after I'm finished the swatch today. I'm going to swatch them exactly how I found them in the box. So just so you know, the swatch chart on the back and my swatch chart are not going to match. All right, so let's take a look at these pencils. So you get 5 layers of pencils. 5. And they're all pretty. They are a hexagonal pencil, so they have all different sizes. They do have color numbers. So I'm going to switch you over to the close-up camera here so you can see. They have color numbers, so you can arrange them in color number order. And they have colored pencils, and it is the British way of spelling color, which is awesome to me because that's how I spell color, and the company name ArtTrack, as well as coloring or color. No, it's color. C-O-L-O-U-R. It's just the U and the R are combined there. So, great looking pencils so far. Let's take a look at the centering of a couple of them. This one is slightly off a little bit. Not 100% centered on that one. And let's take a look at this one. Oh, this one is much better. Almost completely centered on that one. So there's, of course, going to have a few that have different centering, whether it's really close or really far off, is whether or not they're usable. Most of them, from what I can see, are pretty close. There's not too many that are completely off center where it's going to be a problem as of yet. I haven't gone through each and every one of them yet, but I will of course do that when I do the swatch. We are also going to sharpen them today. Let's put this one through the sharpener and see how it does. The reason why I chose this one is because the wood goes up quite a bit there to the end. So we're going to put this one in the sharpener. I'm going to rattle your cages for just a moment. while I sharpen this. And of course shake my desk all up. Okay, so I have sharpened it. It's sharpened to a very nice tight point, a nice hard point too. And the wood didn't go all the way up to the end like I was worried about. It is not perfectly centered. It is off quite a bit, but not enough that it's going to cause a huge amount of problems while coloring. These were on sale on Aliexpress for 160 pencils for less than $30. Cha-ching! I was so happy. And I waited. I found them and I waited for a little bit. And there was a 50% off sale that was going on um, different things. And one thing I really like about AliExpress is, and it's completely different than Wish, is that when you put something in your cart, if it's going to go on sale, it tells you, wait. It tells you these are going to be on sale in 3 days. Why don't you wait until then? Just put them in your cart and we'll remind you in 3 days. Which is awesome because yeah, I would have ended up paying $10 more for this purchase than I had to because they were coming on sale. So that really thrilled me. But enough about that. We're going to actually go through and take a look at the swatch. It should be fairly quick. I have sped it up as fast as I could possibly speed it up to. It is 160 pencils, so it might take a little bit longer. And then we'll come back, we'll take a look at the swatch, and we'll talk about how I feel about the pencils themselves. Because it doesn't matter how pretty the packaging is. If the pencils are no good, the pencils are no good. And we're going to go through and figure that out. All right, guys, I will be right back. We're going to go to the swatch and take a look at that. And, hopefully it will go very quickly for you. Grab your coffee, sit back, and relax. All right, guys, I will be right back with the swatch. Thank you all so much for watching that. And that is all done. And we've got the swatch here, and one problem that I did notice is I have two of 054. So I am missing, I will have to go through and find out, but I am missing one pencil and I have a duplicate. Bummer. It's a good thing it's a pretty color. I really like the color, so I'm not too upset about it, but I will go through and figure out what color it is I'm missing. I might send them back because of it. I might not, depending upon what color is missing, really. How often are you going to use every color out of a 160 piece set? So we have our light colors, our white into our creams, and then into our yellows, and into our skin tones, our pink colors. We have a huge amount of oranges in this set. Fantastic set of oranges. Into our light browns, and then a couple of our darker browns, ready kind of browns up here, and our yellow browns. This swatch is all over the place, guys, sorry. Then into our pinks, this orange should be up here. Some more pinks, some really nice pink colors, a really bright one here and a nice dark one here, and then some wonderful really soft pinks as well. Then to our reddish orange colors, this one here is a fairly nice red, and it should be, this one here should be up here, which is a nice reddy orange color too. Same with this one, also a reddish orange. So there's a huge amount of oranges, from the yellow oranges all the way down to the red oranges, as well as the peaches, the pinky colors, the really light orangey colors as well. Then into our purples, our reds into our purples, and into our reddish brownish. They're a hard color to describe. It's almost a brown, it's almost a red, and it's almost a purple all at once. It's a really nice color, and I use it often for different stoneworks, for bricks and stuff like that. It is a very nice color. I can't think of the name of it now for the life of me, but it is a very nice color. Into an eggplant, and then some more browns. I've got browns everywhere. And then some more purples, from our red violets into our violet colors, and of course another brown and another brown in the middle of the violets. It's all good. And then we've got some more light pinks into our purpley pinks, and then into our really light violet colors, and then into our blues and our blue violets, into our darker blues and our grays for some reason. We go from a really light gray to a light gray green, and another gray into a dark gray, a medium gray, that's more of a warm gray. This one here is a fairly warm gray, but it's got more green in it. And then into our darker grays, and then more into our light blues and our aquatic colors, absolutely gorgeous aquatic colors, into our darker blues, into our pure blue colors. And then we go into our greens and into our aquatic green colors, our dark greens, and then some more browns because I'm not sure, and then into a gray green. And like I said, my swatch is everywhere, because then we go into more of our aquatic greens and into our shamrock greens, that kind of green, and then our olive greens. And then, like I said, I'm going to go through and rearrange these because, like I said, the swatch is everywhere. But the colors are very nice. They are very bold. Let's talk more about the pencil core itself. So colors are really, really nice. They're very bold colors, very bright colors, and they lay down very, very nicely. Um, the they're hard pencil. These are definitely made for beginning um, beginner colorists all the way up to artists, because they do hold their point very, very nicely. They are a little bit scratchier than I like, but it's because they're a very hard pencil. They say it's an oil-based pencil, but I think they're a little bit too hard to be an oil-based pencil. Um, Personally, I think they're more of a wax base than an oil base. They are a 3 millimeter lead, which is a little bit thinner than I like, but they don't break. Um, like I put a lot of pressure on them while I was doing the swatch, and I didn't break a lead. Now we're going to color with these, and we'll take a look more. Like I said, I do have one that is a duplicate, which is kind of a bummer, but it happens um, more often than not sometimes. And the odd thing about the duplicate, let's see if I can find it here. It's number 54. So these two are duplicates, and as I go through, there's different fonts on different colors, which is a little bit strange to me as well. These two are identical. I'll switch you over to the close-up camera so you can actually see what I'm showing you. So these two here are identical. They're both 054, and they were in the exact same spot next to each other. So, but if you look at the font on this one compared to the font on this one, the writing is the same, but the numbering is a different font, which is a little strange to me. I can understand it because it is some of the higher numbers that are different. So I think what's happened here is they had, say, 60 or 72, then they added more and brought it up to 120, and then they added more and brought it up to 160. So I can definitely understand the changes in the fonts without a problem, because it is the higher numbers from 72 and up that are that way. Like, what's this one? 123. Let's find a one that goes, because this one here is number 84, number 91's the same, but number 70 is in the old font. So I think it's the factor of old versus new, and they didn't change the font for the old when they added the new, which is fine as well. That's a little less money that they spent the on the printing of the pencils. So we're going to color with these for a little bit, and we have our wonderful little picture here. We're going to color this one, so we need some floral colors, some yellows, and some greens, as well as some colors for the jar and the lid. So let's take a look at our swatch here. I think I want to make the jar purples this time. So let's pull a couple of purples. Number 30. Well, let's start with the yellows for the stars. So we need number 6. And which is this one. And I think we're going to grab number 156, which is this one. And then we need a color for the lid, for the stopper, which we'll grab 181 for that, which should be Maybe in here. That's number 14. So 81 is before 14, so it should be this one. I am good. Okay, so there's our stopper color, and we'll grab 150, maybe 77 for the shadow areas of the stopper. And that is that part. Let's grab, let's put these in here. It's hard to put these somewhere. So there is one here that has a bit of a scratch on the paint, not a big deal. So let's do our flowers in blue and this one here in pink. So let's get a nice light pink. So number 42 is a nice color. So we'll grab this one and we'll grab number 31, which is this one, I think. Nope, that's 133. Let's see, what's that one? Yeah, that's a good one too. For the flowers, and then we want, this one can go in here. I should have probably grabbed all these first, but you guys get the fun of picking all the colors with me. So I think we're going to do a nice dark, so number 58, if it's in here. It might be in the next tray. No, it's in this one. So 58 should be about here. Nope, not quite. So this one is 122, so this one here is 150. So we're still got a couple more to go back. But we want number 15, which did I put these in here wrong? There's 150. So this one here should be number 15. So maybe it's 68 that we want. Yeah, okay. I was looking at them wrong. So we want number 68 and number 58 for the jar. And we want that there. We'll put this away. I'm grabbing at least one or two from each layer. So I want nice dark green. Actually, I want medium greens, but I want the blues. So let's see, this one is 149. Yeah, that's a good one. That's for our background. And I want this one, which is 141, and number 119 for our, it's 114. Too dark. Too dark. Wondering if I have it on. Oh, there it is, right next to each other. And those are for our flowers, and then we want two out of here for our leaves and our grass. So we want, let's see, number 55 and 100. And 73. Not quite dark enough. So let's see. So it should be this one. Yep. Okay. So we've got at least 2 from every level. And we're going to stick these back in here. And of course we don't have any grays or browns, but that's okay. And then we're going to grab the dark. There we go. I need the pad so that I can color on it without having too hard, not hard enough of a surface. So these are the colors we've chosen. And like I said, we have pretty much 2 of everything. However, we do have to sharpen them. So I'm going to start with the bluebell colors because that's what I'm going to color first. They sharpen pretty good. They're not stuttering when I sharpen them. This one is perfectly centered, almost exact, which is really good. Let's sharpen the light blue as well. Okay, and another one that's pretty good centering. So the blues are pretty good in center. And we're gonna, of course, color a little bit here. So sharpening them did seem to help. As you know, I don't sharpen my pencils when I swatch them because I test the factor of that they use in their advertising when they pre-sharpen the pencils of this is pre-sharpened and you can use it right out of the box. So I check with that and make sure that that's something that is possible. So I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit here so that you can see what I'm doing. And I've put down the 141, which is the darker blue. And I'm going to go over it lightly with this light blue and see if they blend together. And they do seem to blend pretty good. This is, like I said, a harder pencil. So if you do press really hard, you may end up scratching your paper, but you are going to get a really nice lay down of color if you press harder. And they're not going to smush. So if you are a heavy-handed person, you are definitely going to get your color out of these without smushing them. Which is great because there are some days where I just want to color heavy-handed. I'm going to refocus this for you because it looks awfully grainy to me. There we go. That's the light one. So let's go light to dark here and see how this works. See how this goes. So I'm putting down the layer of light first. And then we're going to take our dark and we're just going to blend that in. And it's a subtle darkness. It's not, a stark darkness in comparison to the light colors. So I do have a bit of a line there, so I'm just going to take the light and go back into that and just blend into it and try to get rid of that little line. I keep on doing it. I keep on rubbing it with my hand instead of dusting it away with my brush. It seems to be a habit today. Hopefully it's one that I break because it drives me crazy when I do it. Luckily erasers exist. Otherwise I would have been really mad this morning. I may have even, said some harsh words or something. Just blending that in. So they work pretty good. I'm going to check how they work with the blender. So I've got my Caran d'Ache blender pencil here. And I'm just going light to dark. And they blend really, really nicely. That's really good. I know. Use the brush, Renee. Use the brush. So there's our wonderful little blue flowers. So let's do a wonderful little pink flower here. So I'm going to shake you up a bit. Sorry. I would move to the other desk to sharpen these, but I've got so much on my other desk. Like I have an L-shaped desk, and I've got so much on my other desk of work in progresses and other things that I want to work with that I don't have any room left on the other desk, which is silly because it's the same size almost as the desk I'm working on. So yeah. Okay, so we've got our light pink and we've got our darker pink. Now this is number 42. It's fairly well centered. It's not exact, but it's pretty close. And this one here is really close as well. Like I said, it's not exact. It does have a bit of a separation in the joint there, but it's hopefully not a problem. We'll see as we color with it if it becomes a problem. These are supposed to be glued into the barrels, so we'll see. I'm just going to, because this is such a small area, I'm going to put down the light first, and then we'll put down the dark afterwards. And like I said, these are little tiny pictures, so it doesn't really give you a huge depiction of what they can do, but it does give you an idea of color strength as well as whether or not they're smooth, whether or not they're scratchy, that sort of thing. They do seem to be a lot smoother since I sharpened them than when I was coloring with them to do the swatch. So they are coated. And I know that most colored pencil companies coat their pencils with a bit of a coating to protect them and whatnot. So when they're a little bit scratchy during the swatch, I don't worry too much about it. If they're scratchy when I'm coloring with them, like for these colorings, that's when I worry about it. If I find that they're really scratchy while I'm doing this, then I get concerned on whether or not they're a pencil that I want to keep. Now I took out two different ones for these yellow stars, but the stars are so small that I don't think I'm going to use both of them. But I am actually going to take this pink and do the little swirls. Because why not? Alright, so we're going to take our purples. Oh, that was for the plug. That's right. It's like, why did I take out those browns? Oh, yeah, duh. Gonna give you a shake up. Sorry, guys. So this one here did pretty good. Once again, there's a slight separation in the wood, not a big problem. And as you can see, the color is bleeding a little bit into the wood. So more than likely, these are not going to be water soluble. That more than likely, they're going to probably disintegrate a bit in water. But I'm not even going to test that because they were very inexpensive. And I can pretty much be sure that with them being as inexpensive as they were, they're not going to be ones that you want to get water on. But we can check if you want. Let's actually take a look at that. I've got a water base blender pen here, and this is just water. Um, so let's take a red, a nice dark red. Yeah, and that's exactly what I expected. It is just dissolving, which is exactly what I expected. Where is it? There it is. So we went over that one, and as you can see, I can actually color quite a bit with what is left on the pen. So, and it's exactly what I expected. I didn't expect any better than that because, especially with red, because they are a budget-friendly pencil. Now, another one that people like to test is blue. So we're going to take the darkest blue here. And am I on? No, there we go. And as you can see, it just moves. Which is perfectly fine. I would not suggest that you use a water um, medium with them. Um, if you're going to use your wet mediums, of course, do them first. You know, that sort of thing. But that does mean that we can easily blend these colors with just a bit of water on a brush instead of having to use our blender pencil, which is really kind of cool. I kind of like that idea. But I also have water brushes that are markers, so makes it a little bit easier for me. Now we're going to, of course, do our darks on our water bottle, on our little star bottle here, full of magic and goodness. We're going to put our shadows in. Now this one here is also very nice after I sharpened it. I found that the purples, the reds, the greens, even some of the blues during swatching were a little bit itchy, a little bit scratchy. But after sharpening them here, I've noticed, excuse me, I see that they're not as scratchy as they were on the swatch, which is great because I was a little bit concerned with them. I don't like scratchy pencils. I really don't. And like I said, I'm not going to immediately assume that they're scratchy when I do a swatch, even if they are a bit scratchy when I do a swatch, because I do know that most companies will coat their pencils with a protection agent to keep them nice and protected, keep the color in there. You know, so that if they do get wet or something, they're not going to dissolve. Just going over and coloring up these inside of this bottle. Well, the outside of this bottle. Now I could have done the inside of the bottle with a yellow from the glow of the stars, but I wanted to test as many colors as I could on this little tiny picture. So, and as you can see, even this light one here is not scratchy, which is really good. I do like the factor that they are a nice hard pencil. You keep that point a lot longer, and you can definitely get into that dark and drag it out and blend it, which is great as well. Well, there's a bit of scratch there. Not too bad though. It's more on, seems they work really well on top of other colors. You get a little tiny bit of scratch on bare paper when you first go over it, but it's not horrifying. It's not grate your fingernails down the chalkboard type of scratch. Although, you know, some people like that. I am not one of those people. But they blend together very nicely. I'm able to blend those two colors together to make it look like there's just a lighter version around those lights within the bottle, which is good. Alright, so let's go with the browns now. We're going to take the dark brown, and I am going to shake you up because we're gonna vibrate the table a little bit. Give it a sharpen. Sorry guys. And it too is fairly nice and centered. They smell like cedar wood. They smell like Christmas trees when you cut them. Pine wood. They smell very nice. And I colored that wrong. But that's fine. Just going down into the bottle here with this dark brown. And of course I colored the whole little cap, and I wasn't going to. I was going to color the bottom part with the dark brown and the top part with the light brown, but that's okay. There, that's better. Alright, so now we just got the greens to go for the grass and the leaves of the flowers. So again, going to shake you up a little bit. And we'll take a look at how well these sharpen. I'm a little bit concerned about this one because, as you can see right here, it's got a bit of a separation in the joint. But they do seem like the advertisement on the pencils on Aliexpress, as well as on the website. And that's one thing that I really kind of like about these pencils, is not only do they have a really good description on Aliexpress, but they also have an actual website for the company that makes them. ArtTrack is the brand for these pencils. There's not the company name. It's just the brand for these pencils. The company name is on the back of the box with the phone number, as well as, I think there was somewhere on here the website information. I think I may have found it on the advertisement. but there's a company name, there's a company phone number, and all that fun stuff on the packaging, which is really cool. Sometimes, especially with Amazon and whatnot, you have a hard enough time getting a hold of Amazon, never mind the seller of the product. So, okay. And even these greens, after I sharpen them, aren't scratchy. And they are nice and solid. They're not flaking, not chipping off. I can put lots of pressure on them and they just do what they're supposed to do, which to me is a great pencil. Oh, itchy nose. I hate that. Alright. So we're just going to put... No, I did. Oh, that was silly of me. Oh, maybe not. I thought maybe I grabbed the wrong pencil and put the light down first instead of the dark, which is acceptable too. It's not a big deal. But I wanted to do the stem with the dark. So alright, let's do the grass. Now I am going to do the light here first. And as you can see, it is covering quite nicely. Even just with a quick couple of little strokes here, I'm getting a very vibrant, heavy color. That does coat nicely. I'm just going to go put in the shadow areas here. And our bits of grass. One of the things that I really like about a good hard pencil is it does give you the ability to get those pinpoint details, which is awesome. Alright. And then we're going to take our light blue and we're going to put in a little bit of a sky. And then we'll switch on over to the other camera so we can take a good close look at the colors and that sort of thing. So I'm just going to go on the side of the pencil and I'm just going to do a shade. I'm not going to do a hard coloring of it. I'm just going to do a shade. And as you can see, this color is just vibrant. Even with a light shade, I'm getting a good amount of color. Very nice color. And it's not too scratchy. Like I said, I am using the edge of the pencil. And these are a nice hard pencil, so you are going to have a bit of a scratch, if that makes sense. It's not really a scratch, it's more of a catching on the tooth of the paper because I'm not using the front of like the full tip of the pencil. I think that's the best way to describe that. And very, very nicely. and it covered quite nice. Now if I wanted it darker, of course I could go in and actually add a harder feel to it, like a harder pressure on it, and add that deeper color. I'm going to take the blender pencil and we're going to smooth it out and get rid of all that white spot. See how well that does. Like I said, these are water soluble. So if you wanted to blend with just a water pen or a paintbrush, you could probably do that depending upon how much water or color you've laid down. If you find that you don't want to or like to blend with your blending pencil, especially if you're shading, sometimes blending with the blender pencil when you're using a shade, a light coat like this, the blender pencil doesn't like to blend it. And you end up just getting dust from your blender pencil, which is what I have here. But the Caran d'Ache does blend these very nicely. I wanted to see how well it blended them. And as you can see, I've got lots of blender smuts there, and that's just because it's a very light layer. Alright, so let's switch on over to the, let's just throw that anywhere. Let's switch on over to the main camera here, and I will make this, oh, I'll make this a little bit closer for you so you can see up close the pretty colors. If it'll let me grab it, there we go. So as you can see, the colors are quite vibrant for what we've used. And in comparison to, say, the Neoni or the Deli, they work quite nicely. The Ram is also one that works, that shows quite well the color for both of them. Seems I use a lot of pinks and blues. So a lot of these colors do show, a lot of these little bits do show quite nicely how vibrant these are. I didn't use a heavy hand in any of the part of this picture, and it still is showing very, very brightly, which is awesome. And I keep on shaking you just by hitting the desk. I don't know how, since you're on a pedestal. I'll figure it out later. Um, so all in all, other than the fact that I'm missing a color, I have a duplicate color. When they're not sharpened, they're a bit scratchy. Other than that, it's a really nice set of pencils, and it definitely deserves the packaging that they give it. Do I think they're better than Prismacolor, Faber-Castell, Caran d'Ache, any of those? No. Do I think they are a good, solid 160 set of colored pencils with a wonderful range of color? Absolutely. Would I trade my Holbeins for them? No. You know, absolutely not. But they are a really, really good set of pencils for somebody that's heavy-handed or enjoys coloring heavy-handed now and then. They work very well for coloring quite heavy. Um, for example, I've got the yellow here, and I want this B to be very, very bright yellow. I can put down this bright color. Let's switch you over to the close-up here. So I can put down this bright color all at once in a nice heavy coat and not break this pencil. without any problems at all. I can do the outline for the bee's wings here in a fairly heavy coat without breaking this pencil and still maintain a fairly nice tip. I'm not smashing that tip down to nothing, even though I'm pushing quite hard on the pencil. Let's look at one that has a really sharp tip here. I think this is no, it'd be this one. So this one here is got a really hard point, a sharp point. And we're just going to color this whole area. And I'm putting pressure. I'm putting plenty of pressure down on this. This is a hard color. And I've put, my full pressure that I would normally put on a heavy-handed coloring. And look at that. You still have most of your point there. There's of course a little bit of wear, but if I was to do that with, say, my Color Soft or my Caran d'Ache or my Holbeins or even my Brute Funer colored pencils, the Black Widows, anything like that, they would be mashed into nothing. I would be out of a pencil in no time flat. But these do hold that ability. They do hold quite nicely when you do that. If you leave them too pointed, you may end up with some breakage for that very, very little tip. But and to avoid that, of course, you just dull it down a little bit first. But this one had a really, really sharp point, so it broke off just that little bit of a tip. But like I said, you can definitely use a good amount of force on these pencils and come out with a very vibrant color. As well as, you can also layer even after you've gone over it with a heavy hand. Like I'm going over this area that I did earlier with the yellow with a heavy hand, and I'm going over it with a medium hand, and I'm still able to layer that color on top. And let's blend it in. And there's still enough room in that tooth to blend that in, which is really good. And like I said, I'm pressing. Like I'm using a heavy, heavy hand here. And the heavier my hand is, the smoother they feel, which to me is interesting. Because you expect, they're going to be even scratchier with a heavy hand, but the heavier my hand is, the smoother they feel, which is kind of cool. Okay. So now that I've colored two pictures, well, I wanted to show you guys what I meant by heavy-handed. So I'm able to press hard, 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 hard before it starts getting to a point where it's breaking apart. And to me, that's awesome. So if you're just coloring harder, you're not smashing it into the, but just using a hard hand, you're going to get a really good amount of color out of these pencils and for a long period of time before you have to sharpen them. If you're really light-handed, you're going to get layer after layer after layer after layer before you have to sharpen them. And if you're a turner like me, you never have to sharpen them again. No, that's not true. They do wear down after a while. But like this one here is completely sharp. And this is just a light medium hand. So it does layer and it does accept heavy-handed coloring. So to me that's a win-win situation there. So definitely one that I'm going to keep in my set, in my collection. Can't really say in my set because yeah, I have a few, but in my collection. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do decide that you would like to try these pencils, buy these pencils, that sort of thing, of course they are from Aliexpress. It did take me approximately 10, maybe 15 days to get them in, which is great. Way better than, say, Wish or anything like that. I didn't have any shipping problems other than the duplicate pencil, which it's a pretty color, so I'll have to go through and see which one I'm missing in order to make that decision. They color nicely. They blend very nicely. They are not water resistant, so they will move with water, so be careful. Um, they don't ever say anywhere on there that they are water resistant as far as I can tell. The packaging is fantastic. It says do not put near flames, so but nowhere on here does it say that they're um, water resistant. They do say that they are a high quality acid free pigments in bright colors with a unsurpassed light fastness. I don't have any information on whether or not that's been tested or how that's been tested or whatnot, but that's what the box itself says. They also have a 3mm lead. The company name is Every Pencil Stationery Factory, and it is in China, and there's their hotline phone number. And that's all of the information on that part of the box. Now, on this part of the box, of course, we have our ArtTrack since 2001. And then on the back, we have our available colors. So the one way that we can tell that this is out of China is because it says the colored surface can be transformed with only a few fine or broad brush strokes to reveal the full and unique power of the colors and add more effects to your artwork. And of course, we all know that in Chinese art, they do call colors or colored pencils painting. So when they color something with pencils, from what I've learned, they call it painting. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If I were to buy these again, absolutely I would do so. If I had a choice between these or a higher quality, I would probably go with the higher quality. These are a fantastic budget-friendly colored pencil set of 160 colors. They are approximately the same price as, say, 160 Cool Bank or anything like that. In my personal opinion, they're nicer. The Cool Bank are a little bit flaky and soft and not buttery soft, they're crumbly soft. And to me, I don't like that. If I'm going to have a pencil that's crumbly, I'd rather have it a really hard pencil. Um, but I don't like crumbly pencils almost as much as I don't like scratchy pencils. So that's my personal opinion. Um, but they do lay down nicely. They do give a wonderful bright color even with a light hand. Like I'm using a really light hand here, barely touching the pencil at all, and that's just coating the page, which is wonderful. They're not overly scratchy once you sharpen them. If you try to color with them like I do for my swatches before sharpening them, you are going to have some issues with scratchiness. Like I said, I don't judge how scratchy they are until after I've done the swatch and I've actually colored with them. But all in all, to me, a fantastic set of colored pencils for less than $30. You can't beat that. And of course, free shipping because I ordered more than $50 worth of stuff. So, Aliexpress for the win. Not only did they package it absolutely beautifully, the package itself is fantastic. Um, the holders for the pencils is wonderful. It holds them in place and solidly. The pencils themselves are, although some of them are not completely centered, and I would never ever say any budget friendly pencil set is going to be 100% centered on every pencil. Can't say it. Won't say it. But I didn't have any wood issues while doing the swatches, so none of the pencils, even though I hadn't sharpened them, had wood come up to the end of the pencil where it made it hard to even color with. After sharpening the ones that I did see had a little bit too much wood on it for my liking, I was able to sharpen that wood down to a point where there would be absolutely no problem whatsoever coloring with them. The laydown is fantastic. The color is bright and cheery, and absolutely match the colors on their barrels. That's another thing that a lot of color pencils have a problem with, is they paint their barrels different colors. And say these two pencils here, they are slightly different colors. This one here is a bright pink. This one here is a medium pink. Now, if with some colored pencil companies, when you saw this in your swatch or in your box, you would expect this one to be lighter and this one to be darker. I have seen different colored pencil companies have the darker barrel on the lighter pencil. And it's really weird when you go to swatch it and you expect that to be a dark pink and it turns out to be a pale pink or a pastel pink. It really messes with your swatch. But even these, their core colors and the colors on their barrels are almost identical. So that's fantastic. What else can I say about them? They are not water resistant. They will dissolve in water. We did do a little water test. Yeah, other than that, I think we're pretty much golden on them. I just want to go through and of course thank you all very much for watching. I hope this was helpful and educational and that sort of thing. I will of course leave the link to the set I bought in the description below. This is from AliExpress. Please shop around. Sometimes you can find deals and sales and everything else from different vendors on AliExpress. Do not immediately go with the first one that comes up. shop around, cut and paste the name or anything like that. Just type in ArtTracks, or do what I did, and I typed in 160 colored pencils to see what would come up. And this is what came up, you know. So, go through and look around, browse around, because you can find a lot of really good deals on Aliexpress just by looking around and checking out all the vendors that carry the product. Don't just go with the first one that comes up. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the like button for me. I really do use that information for the best of the channel to make sure that you guys are seeing the things you want to see. Leave me a comment. Let me know if there's anything that I have not showed you that you want to see. I will try to do that in a video or in addition into videos. Does that make sense? So when I'm doing a video, if there's something that I'm missing out of the video, I will try to put that in there. Or I'll just make a whole new video about it. Well, we never know until you tell me about it. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. I do put out at least a video every day except for Sunday. Wednesday and Saturday I do go live with Saturday a color along, Wednesday a color and chat. Sundays are reserved for special occasions and special projects and interviews, stuff like that, which could be live or could be recorded. It all depends upon the artist or the special thing that's going on. If you want to join us over on Facebook, please feel free to do so. Just fill out the application form on the Facebook group when you sign up, because, excuse me, unfortunately there are people in Facebook that aren't absolutely wonderful people, and they have a tendency to target groups such as coloring groups for scams and theft. Yes, people are out there actually stealing your already colored stuff and making it into things and selling it. It's happening. And we want to protect our members from that sort of thing happening. So we ask that you fill out the application form to let us know where you heard about us and that sort of thing, so that we can better protect our members as well as you who are joining our group. Of course, I am an Amazon affiliate, so any Amazon links on any of my videos are affiliate links. If you purchase anything from them or sign up for Amazon Prime through them, that does give me a small commission that goes into a fund specifically for this channel. So it does help me provide content as well as prizes and shipping and handling and that sort of thing for the prizes. I did get in contact with our prize winner from Tuesday's Tips and Tricks Tuesday last week, and got her prize out to her. I have shipped it. She will receive it next week, and I hope she enjoys it and joins me on Tips and Tricks Tuesday for our Colored Pencils 101, where I am going through and I will be using some of the things that she won to teach different things. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, I want to say thank you, and I will see you tomorrow for our Saturday color and chat. Well, it's actually a color along this time, because I have Davissa from DJ's Colorful Escape joining me, and we are coloring the same picture, and I am putting out all of the different color numbers that I am using, so you can color right along with us. So if you want to join us for that, of course, please feel free to do so, and absolutely chat away, because I really do enjoy talking to all of you. Otherwise, have a fantastic day, a wonderful week. Relax, color, and stay safe. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. You have a great day.